CJ, like when me and him was cool before he got drafted because he had an injury. He broke his foot the same way I broke my foot in college. So he reached out to me while he was still in college, like, what did you do? So I ran down to him, the whole process, everything I did. And we just stayed in contact the whole year. And then the draft came. He wasn't picked yet. We had a pick. I knew he was going to get picked high. And I'm like, I text him. We ended up picking him. So that whole year, his rookie year, we sat together on the plane. We worked out together every day, everything. Yeah. So then, a couple years later, we end up moving on from everybody. We start over, and me and him starting together now after like 2 years, 3 years. So we was always tight. Like my mom and his mom was always together. I was always with him. Like in Portland, summertime, we was always working out together, going places together. So that's like really my partner. Like we ain't, even to this day, you know what I'm saying? Like we'd get on FaceTime and just whatever, like we always have. But we always talked about like, man, if we don't win it, it's gonna be over at some point. Like one of us gonna be gone. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? So it was a conversation that we had for 3-4 years before it actually happened. But we always knew that it was a possibility. And then obviously when it came, it was like they coming to me with conversations about possibilities and all that. And I never was in there telling them like, do this, do that. But it got to the point where they'll tell me like, hey, if we can do this or we can do that. So I wasn't comfortable like being as close with him as I was and just acting like I don't know nothing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I would have felt like a sucker if I just tried to play that game, because I think a lot of times you don't know. Sometimes they'll try to just do something that they think you want to do, and then they'll tell you afterwards and you really don't know. And then there's times where they know our relationship, so they like, hey, they want to lighten the blow. Yeah. So, they're going to mention what the opportunities are or whatever. So I just came to him like, hey, I think something finna happen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Some shit gonna happen. He was like, yeah, I figured, we struggling, whatever. And we just had the conversation. But I'm like, I know something is coming up. I don't know what, but you might want to prepare. Get with your agent, figure out if y'all could come together and figure something out. And he was like, boom. And that's what ended up happening. They kind of got with the team. They worked together. And they had been doing that. And then the night before he got traded, we had a game. And I think we had a game, and I remember I got home that night, and we was on the phone for like 2 hours. Yeah. And the whole time we was just talking about everything leading up to that point. It's finna happen. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It was that type of conversation. Yeah. But I think that it made it easier for both of us, because it was like, shit, I think it's finna go down. And then once he got traded, it wasn't even like, oh my God, he got traded, because we had, like I said, talked about it for years being a possibility, and then he knew about it, for a while, that it was a possibility leading up to that point. And then the night before, we was on the phone talking about it. Like, we on the phone, literally. I remember I'm in my closet, like packing up some stuff, and we talking. So, I mean, it made it more smooth, you know what I'm saying?
But after losing somebody you so close to as a teammate, and he's gone now, do it take a piece of you, like, or in the air or in the gym, it just ain't the same, or not hearing that voice or seeing him pull up?
I think initially, I took it pretty cool because I wasn't playing. Yeah. Like at that point, I had already pulled out of the season. I had surgery, so I wasn't physically on the court. I was on the team still, but I wasn't having to play without him. Yeah. So he went to New Orleans. He came back, played against the team. He got a standing ovation, everything. And I realized it, but I hadn't had to play without him yet. Yeah. And then once I started getting ready for the next year, we come into training camp or whatever that was, and I was like, damn, like,
the guy ain't here.
My running mate, he done been here. Like, we had this conversation every year in camp, like, hey, if I snap on you, just take it. Like, it ain't personal. You already know it's coming from a good place. If you snap on me, take it. We had this conversation every year. So when the time came, I was just like, damn, like, C really gone. Yeah. So it did, I was obviously able to come out and do what I needed to do, but it did take a little bit off of the mission, you know what I'm saying, that I was on. Like, it was always, we gonna do this. This what we gotta do, So it took a little bit off of that mission for me, for what I wanted to do there.
to have a guy like, cause CJ, interviewing him, I rarely hear him talk, or I rarely get a chance to really hear him or try to feel who he is. He had me a whole new light of CJ after we interviewed him. The mentality that he had. To have a guy that's saying have the same equal mentality as you and don't bullshit, ain't scared to say what's on his mind. What's real.
He really crazy for real. Like,
to lose that and now you got to find somebody else on the team to have that same type of pedigree as you. Like, how was that for you transitioning to, because like you got young guys, you got the Anthony Simon guy, you got these guys, and you know, to have CJ being the next best player, to have a mentality like you, it's hard to get that on teams to understand what it is. Because y'all came from the bottom. Y'all had to work for everything y'all got.
It's hard. We had so much in common. Like, coming from a mid-major, having to carry a team in college, it was just so many things that we shared to where it was like, I knew it when I saw it. And I remember his first training camp, you know, his rookie year, LA was multi-time All-Star. This dude on the max contract. He was like nice like that, one of the best players in the league. And I'll never forget, he switched on to CJ one time in practice, training camp, and CJ like, he switched, he kind of guarding CJ like this, because they didn't really know CJ was nice. You know what I mean? They didn't know he was really nice like that. And confident, like cocky. So CJ hit him, you know, right to left, step back, fade away. And LA was like, that's off. Like when he contested it, that's off. CJ was like, nigga, shut up. Like, that's what he said. This in training camp, his rookie year. So I remember he just had all the vets was just kind of like bothered by him because he was just talking and he was backing it up too. Like he was hooping. So like from that moment, I knew because I followed him in college, but in the NBA, I was like, see, I might not have said that out loud, but I would have been thinking that when that happened. You know what I'm saying? So I knew it was there when we became a backcourt. But when he left, I also was like, I got a lot of confidence in Ant. You know, obviously he gonna need time to become that because he came in the league as an 18-year-old. He didn't have college experience. He hadn't been on the court that much, but like from the day Ant walked in, I was already on his line. You know what I'm saying? I come to the sideline like, did you see how they was just guarding me? Did you see how they blitzed me? You see how I hit the pocket? You see how I came and I passed ahead and let him make the pass so they can soften up when they see they getting picked. Like I would always come to the sideline and ask them, you seen this? Did you see that? You know why I did this? You know why I did that? On the plane, I'll show him clips of like certain stuff. I started training with him. Like we started working out together. He started training with my trainer. So he was almost like being like groomed the whole time. So it was just a matter of him getting experience. And last year was his first full year getting it, and I thought he hooped, you know what I'm saying? But you need that time. You need that time to get on the court, do it, play against that pressure, play in like meaningful games, really feel yourself, you know what I'm saying? And I thought the year before he got more minutes than earlier in his career. And then last year he was ready. You know, Ant, I think he averaged like 22 last year. So Ant, he was ready, but it's nothing like doing it and just coming into it knowing like this what I do. You know, he had to do it. And last year was his first year starting and getting to it. But me and CJ we had reps. You know what I mean? We had year after year after year after year. Western Conference Finals, like sweeps. We done got swept together. I saw how he bounced back from it. We done had success together. I saw how he came back from it. Like we done been out together, and I done seen him like not go out. You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't just finna go out like no sucker, like on no level. So it was like we had enough experiences together where like my belief and my comfort with him was like that high. Yeah. And you know, obviously that's tough to replace. But
have you talked to him since his long injury?
I talked to him the day it came out.
How he doing?
He doing straight. He's
That's
straight.
Good. That's good. Prayers up for CJ, man. Get back a healthy recovery.